Oskaloosa. It's our community, and we're thankful to be a part of it. Telling its stories, sharing its smiles. We're building community, keeping you informed, giving you a voice, letting you know you're never alone during the victories and the losses, happiness and pain. For tomorrow's a new day, and we'll be there, working for you, ready to tell your story. That's our commitment. It's what we do, now and in the future, because we're always on. We're Oskaloosa News.
Patty Malloy, Public Health Coordinator with Mahaska Health, sat down with Oskaloosa News to talk about the current situation of COVID-19 and how people can best protect themselves during this time.
Yeah, we have seen an uptick, I think, starting in September. We started the month out with about 213 cases, and as of now, we're over 600. So in the last couple months, September and what we are into October, we've seen a big increase. And so at Mahaska Public Health, we get an alert for positive cases. We also are a hospital-based public health, so we also have lab that notifies us of cases that were maybe tested in our facility. So we get those a little bit sooner than other public health, but otherwise the ones tested outside of Mahaska Health will get an alert of all the positives in the county, and we give them a call. So we talk to them about their test results, and they will get a call from their providers or wherever they were tested, and they get notified. So hopefully they know before we call them, and we just talk to them about the symptoms they're having, and we do a little investigation. It can last 10 to 15, 20 minutes depending on the questions that they have. We go over symptoms, and then we also go over contacts. People they have maybe been in contact 48 hours prior to their symptoms starting, you can be spreading the COVID virus. So I think that's something that not everybody's aware of. So before you're sick, you can actually be spreading the virus, which is why, and that's the case with other viruses as well. So not knowing that you're sick at the time is just one of the things why we have a lot of the mitigation measures of social distancing, wearing your mask, and those kinds of things. So
I was going to say or ask, folks are of course concerned about this, and what kinds of steps are you guys recommending that folks personally take to help mitigate their chances of catching COVID?
Yeah, so we recommend that you wear a mask when you're out, just because that's going to help you, if you're well, stay well, and if you're having symptoms of 48 hours prior before, if you're coming down with it, it'll help the spread or decrease the spread. So we want to make sure that we're decreasing the spread and keeping those well. So masks, we have seen in different scenarios where masks weren't used and masks were used, the spread is a lot more decreased in those situations where masks were worn. So the governor did put out kind of some new guidance for Iowa that if both people are wearing masks, then that if someone comes down with COVID, they wouldn't have to quarantine the other individual. So, and we weren't seeing a lot of spread in those situations. Situations where we're seeing spread is definitely close contacts when masks aren't being worn. If you're taking a break, if you work at a facility, and lots of places are having their staff wear masks, but you go to take a break or you take lunch and you sit in the break room, you're eating, and you're not social distancing, then we see a good number of people in those situations spread. So
when you're looking at this, you're looking at the 20,000 foot level, looking down, and you're going, well, this seems to be a hot spot, or this seems to be something that is a leading contributor to the spread of COVID. When you're looking at this, is there any of that indication for you?
Yeah, I think we're seeing events, so we started getting an uptick in September. We also had some large events that have happened that they're was a large, groups of people gathering. We also started schools. We also had Labor Day weekend, and people traveled and got together and had get-togethers. So in September, that's what we were really seeing. And at this point, it just hasn't slowed down yet from that.
Okay, so basically larger gatherings of folks as, we're moving indoors, it's that time of the year, kind of being a little closer in proximity.
Yeah.
Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, so I think if you're closer than 6 feet for the more than 15-minute rule is kind of what we go by. We're definitely seeing the spread, so people go out to eat with people, or they, are in a close group setting for meetings and not social distancing or wearing masks. Then we're seeing, small groups of outbreak spreading then to others. So.
Okay, and I know the concern, like we've expressed already, that folks have over COVID. We've talked about masks, hand sanitizer. What other kinds of mitigations can folks do to help protect themselves or their friends and neighbors, or the person that's down the room from them?
Yeah, I definitely think that if you're someone that is a high risk in the high risk population, or have a weakened immunity, some of those things, you want to definitely take care of yourself. This isn't just about ourselves anymore, we're spreading it to others, so we have population health that we need to be concerned about. But definitely take care of yourself if you are somebody that it could really be harmful and you're in that high risk category of getting really ill and being hospitalized. You want to just limit your trips to outings, grocery stores, and that type of thing, shopping. Limit those to what you have to do, or have somebody get those, or do the online shopping. We have a lot of people doing that. And then just limit who you're with. Keep your groups small. Family units, people that live in the same house. That's also where we're seeing the spread. If one person in the household is ill, then the other family members become ill. And so we do have some criteria that we say for if one person in the home is ill, isolate them, whether they can go in the basement or in their room. When they're out of that area, wear a mask, or just keep the social distancing as much as possible in a home. And I know every home situation is different, so we just kind of give the recommendations that you can do in your home. If you have a separate bathroom or something, use that. But those are kind of some of the things that we say in the homes to do.
Well, I see you have a lot of notes there, and I definitely know I haven't covered that many notes yet. So what kinds of things that you're looking at or want to share have we not touched on yet?
I think we've hit a lot of them, actually. So just limiting the contacts, the social distancing, wearing the mask, and also when you mask care is important. So masks are great, but we also want to limit the touching of your face. So I know when you wear a mask, sometimes it's uncomfortable at times. So taking mask breaks, but making sure you wash your hands or hand sanitize if you're going to remove your mask is important. And then staying home when you're ill. I don't think I hit on that yet, but if you're not feeling well or you're having some, even mild symptoms, a lot of people we hear of, I just thought I had a cold. I thought I had my allergies. So if anything that's normal for you seems a little bit worse, or you've added symptoms, it's not always the cough, shortness of breath, and fever that we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of the muscle aches, headaches, runny noses, congestion. That's a big one. Loss of taste or smell. Some people, when they get to that point, I lost my taste and smell, so I figured I better come in and get tested. So testing is one thing that I wanted to hit on today too, is like when to get tested. So if you're having some of those symptoms, that I just mentioned, then, and another group of symptoms is kind of that gastrointestinal, the nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, are some symptoms that could be related to COVID. So if you're having symptoms, come to the walk-in. That's where we do a lot of the screening at our facility at Mahaska Health. They come through the screening area, and then they'll direct you to where you need to go. If it's for COVID, the walk-in providers will help you there and check you out for, not everything's COVID, so we want to make sure that we're not, missing anything, and that you're being, having a good checkup, and go over your questions and symptoms and that kind of stuff, and they'll decide whether or not you need to be tested for COVID. If you're not having symptoms and you just want to be tested, Test Iowa is a good spot to do that. I know Wapello County Public Health opened a Test Iowa site on the 14th of October, So they are open Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays from 2 to 7. And you can go online, fill out the information on Test Iowa. You have to have an appointment. And I did talk to the administrator there yesterday. She said just get an appointment because yesterday I looked online. We were trying to get some people seen. And there were no appointments for Monday. She said, go ahead and schedule an appointment. They're having some no-shows, so you can go ahead if you have an appointment like on Wednesday. Make sure you have that. It's like a barcode that it gives you for your appointment. You could be scheduled on Wednesday, but if you come on Monday, they would go ahead and test. So if all the spots are full, they actually opened up some spots so that they can have more people signed up. That way they're keeping their staff that they have set aside for that, doing testing.
Okay, anything else that we've maybe not touched on yet?
I think we've hit a lot of it. I think the testing, there's different types of testing. So what we do, we send off to the laboratory. So if somebody tests here, we do the PCR testing, which is the swab in the nose. So
we've heard lots of stories
I'm
about that
sure you
nasal
have.
swab.
Yeah, so that's the testing that goes to the state hygienic lab or our path labs. And the turnaround time, somewhere between 24 to 72 hours, I think right now. Sometimes it seems like it's a little bit longer. So once the testing gets sent there, then that's about the amount of time. So if you test in the morning, your labs will be sent out in the afternoon by a courier, and they'll go to the lab. So they get sent out at least once a day. So if you're doing it later in the afternoon, it might not get sent out to the next day. So that might be a little bit why we see some lag times in that. And then when the state hygienic lab or path labs get really busy and inundated with a lot of tests, that kind of slows things down. I know we have weekly calls. That was one thing I was going to hit on, like who are we meeting with at Public Health? We have a call weekly with the university staff and going over any situations that they have. Same with the school administrators that are here in Mahaska County. We meet with them and talk about situations and scenarios and mitigation measures and just anything that they need to ask public health about. So, and we also have businesses call asking questions on how to kind of keep the spread down in different facilities and stuff.
What kind of resources are you telling businesses to utilize outside of your office? So the state's website, is there a good resource that folks can look at?
Yeah, the Iowa Department of Public Health has a great website, dedicated to COVID. So if you go on there, Iowa Department of Public Health, go under COVID-19, and then on the sidebar you'll see, different labels, and the business is under one of them, healthcare facilities and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of divided up into that. But if you can't find what you're looking for, CDC website also has a lot of good information. So we do recommend those reputable websites and not just going out there and Googling anything. So yeah, we recommend Iowa Department of Public Health, CDC are great resources.
Well, and everybody's, of course, concerned with the virus, but I think everybody looks to an end game. So at one point in time, and of course you're probably not involved directly with any sort of cure for this or a vaccine, but what sorts of things are the folks like you talking about for a vaccine or helping to be able to curb and end this, or do we see any sort of that promise in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, public health is definitely involved in an end game for sure. So we do have weekly meetings with the Iowa Department of Public Health. Dr. Padati and Dr. Garvey are, doing weekly webinars with public health, and we're talking about the Vaccine Bureau is also on our calls, and we're talking about when the vaccine is released, how we're going to set up pods to get the vaccine out to people as quickly and as soon as possible. So that is definitely happening behind the scenes too. So we're working on that.
All right. So what if you're looking at vaccine numbers? How many doses will be available? What kind of people are you looking at would probably be the first recipients of the vaccine?
Yeah, we haven't got that information. That's a great question, because we ask that almost weekly too. And so there will be probably a limit on how much vaccine that we get, and they'll have a criteria. So those high-risk individuals that are most at risk when they get the virus. So those are all things that we're still working with. So but we don't have a date, or, we're hoping, the end of 2020, but if that doesn't happen, hopefully the beginning of 2021.
Well, one last chance, have I missed anything, skipped anything, omitted anything that we should probably talk about?
No, I think I thank you for inviting me to do this. I think there's been lots of questions out there in the community. We're working hard at Public Health. We've added some additional staff. Some of our staff that were part-time are now working more hours. We're working a lot of extra hours and on the weekends to definitely get people called and information to those that are positive on how to, stay home when you're sick. If you're getting tested, make sure that you don't go out and about till you get the results of your test, and just kind of helping them walk through the process. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Rest easy. State Farm Agent Wendell Campbell is there for you. Call 641-673-4462 today for the service you deserve.
Okay, my name is Linda Lane, just for those of you who don't know me. I am a member of the Hearts and Hands Quilters. It's just a name we named ourselves for our Quilts of Valor group. And I want to thank you for inviting me this afternoon to present this quilt to Kenneth. And this is just a little background on how Quilts of Valor got started. In November of 2003, a lady named Catherine Roberts had a son, Nathan, who was deployed in Iraq. In her words, I was always 10 seconds from panic. She had a dream one night, and according to Catherine, the dream was as vivid as real life. I saw a young man on the side of his bed in the middle of the night, hunched over. The permeating feeling was one of despair. I could see his war demons clustered around, dragging him into an emotional gutter. Then, as if viewing a movie, I saw him in the next scene, wrapped in a quilt. His whole demeanor changed from one of despair to one of hope and well-being. The quilt had made a dramatic change. The message of my dream was, quilts equal healing. As a result of Catherine's dream, the Quilts of Valor Foundation was started. And to this date, and this was as of the end of September, over 257,059 Quilts of Valor have been awarded in the U.S. and overseas since 2003. I didn't bother looking it up to see what the latest number was because they won't have a complete one until the end of October, so we'll just go with the 257, but that's a lot. A Quilt of Valor is not a charity quilt. It is not a birthday present or a Christmas gift. It can never be bought, and it should never be sold. To our service members and veterans, it's priceless. A Quilt of Valor is a healing and comforting gesture, a tangible thing they can wrap around themselves and know that someone thinks about them with love, care, and gratitude. A Quilt of Valor is the Foundation's version of a Purple Heart. The Foundation is about people, not politics. Our veterans of World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have given us legacies such as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They have preserved the American dream, the American way of life. They have sacrificed much so that the cherished concept of freedom and liberty will forever permeate this great land. They have continued to be the foundation and uphold the principles on which the great nation was founded. Many of us did not join a branch of the service or put ourselves in harm's way, but we can serve our country by honoring those who did. That's what Quilts of Valor are all about. I ask everyone here today, from this day forward, to thank a veteran, if only with a handshake or a smile. And a great big thank you to all the veterans who have served our great nation in order to preserve our freedom for all future generations. Thank you, and God bless us all. And then to each veteran who receives the Quilt of Valor, we also have a letter that goes with it. And this letter says, in this case, Dear Kenneth, this Quilt of Valor is awarded to you to thank you for your service to our country. There are 3 layers to your quilt. They can be compared to 3 layers of caring. The top of your quilt, with its many colors, shapes, and fabrics, represent the communities and the many individuals we are. Each stitch in your quilt represents the love, gratitude, and sometimes tears of the maker. The batting is the center of the quilt, and it represents the hope that it will bring warmth, comfort, peace, and healing to you. And the backing is the strength. It holds the many parts of your quilt together. It represents your strength, your faith in God, in yourself, your family, your community, and your nation. Thank you, Kenneth, for your service to our country. We appreciate your strength and valor to protect our freedom. And it's signed sincerely in my name, and then underneath it, Hearts and Hands Quilters, the organization. Then I have a poem that I like to read. And this one is entitled Remember This, with an author unknown. And this is the poem. It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to assemble. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag, who serves the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag. Now we get down to Kenneth himself. And this is the information that he has shared with me that I will share with everybody here. And he told me he'd never received a Quilt of Valor, and he was willing to receive one. He served in the U.S. Army from 1967 to 1970, and the Iowa Army National Guard from 1974 to 1994. And at the time of his discharge, he was a Sergeant First Class. And the dates served and where overseas: he was in Vietnam from 67 to 68, and 69 to 70 in Germany. Now you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I think I got it from that conversation the other night, but Ken served as a reforger in Germany during the annual training while in the Guard. Okay. I didn't think it was back to the 69-70 time. Okay. And these are some of the awards. There must be others, because he just gave me these, but these are the ones that meant something to him. He received a Certificate of Achievement on 12/10 of 1968 in Vietnam. He received an Iowa National Guard Commendation Medal on January 28th of 1983. And he has a Certificate of Training for Field Sanitation School from April of 1986 at Camp Ripley, Minnesota. And a 47th Infantry Viking Division Certificate of Training for Food Service Workshop on April 1988 at Roseville Training Center, Roseville, Minnesota. Is that also Camp Ripley?
halfway there, it's in Minneapolis.
Okay, so they are totally different locations then. I just never had heard of the Roseville. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'll wrap this around you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And on the back, there's a label with your name and information on it, and it's also got washing instructions. That tells you that's your quilt.
Thank you.
And we do thank you very much. And along with the quilt, we have, it's a pillowcase, basically, but we call it a presentation case. And you can use this however you wish. You can use it on your pillow. You can just store the quilt in it, like in the summer when you're not using it. But it's yours to go with the quilt in your, and please, use that quilt. Don't hide it away. Just make sure you use it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. And also with that, we have a certificate. This is the letter that I read. And this is a copy of your information sheet and the prayer and the poem and the speech. I usually like to give that to the recipient of the quilt so that they have that to remember as part of their award. And this is the certificate. Sergeant First Class Kenneth Eugene Mortensen, and the dates, the U.S. Army from 67 to 70 and National Guard from 74 to 94. On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, in recognition of your service and sacrifice for this nation, it is a privilege to serve with honor and comfort you upon the, I gotta turn it around so I can read. It is a privilege to serve, honor, and comfort upon you through the award of this Quilt of Valor. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, as a gesture of gratitude from a grateful nation, we award you this Quilt of Valor. And thank you.
Thank you.
The number 15 Oskaloosa volleyball team opened the Class 4A postseason with a 3-1 win over Norwalk, earning a trip to the regional final to face number 1 ranked Cedar Rapids Xavier. Enjoy the highlights, brought to you by Midwest One. Serve picked up by Gerard. Nice pass up to Blomers. Blomers, good set this time to Durande, left side. And that's how you do it. Lead here on Oskaloosa. Lucy Roach now to serve. Great serve. Trouble for Norwalk. Over into the scorer's table. That's an ace serve for Lucy Roach. Set right side for Norwalk. Blocked at the net by Abby Thompson. Stuffs it back out. Quick set to the middle. Blocked again by Abby Thompson. Okay, Olivia Gordon comes in now to the front row. She'll be the setter. And Macy Creer is in to serve. And Macy gets another ace. AC Macy Creer. Great serve by Oskaloosa. Ace serve, Presley Blomers. By Durande. Blomers to Roach down the line. Lucy Roach. Here's the set. Cross court by Wadley dug up. Walker returns from the 10-foot line, and nobody can dig it for Norwalk. Another ace by Lucy Roach. Norwalk returns. Nice diving dig there by Blomers. Durande from the left side. Her 7th kills. Tip back down by Faith. Wow. Nice, great recovery by Macy Creer. Over, up on the scorer's table for the return. Good job, Macy. Durande tips it up and down. And that'll do it for set number 1. Norwalk. Here's Durande, left side. And Durande racks up her 12th kill of the night. Right side, blocked by Durande and Thompson. Back to Oskaloosa. Gordon with the dump. Nice dump by Olivia. Here's Brennizer return. Nice dig by Roach. Durande, she's blocked. Dug by Creer. Back to Durande. Down the line. Nice return by Norwalk. Great dig by Walker. What a rally. Nice pass to Gordon. Gordon sets it to Roach. Roach is able to put it through for the kill. Her 4th of the night for Lucy Roach. Setting to the middle, Walker. And Walker can't get that one through. Roach to serve. Nice serve down the line. Trouble for Norwalk. Ace serve, Lucy Roach. Ace. Blocked by Durande on the right side. Abby Thompson there as well, and that time they deny Sutcliffe. Here's Durande. That one speaks for itself. Serve again taken by Durande. Nice pass to Blomers. Blomers dumps it. Beautiful dump there by Blomers. Evilheiser and Blanco back in the lineup. And an ace serve, Malia Walker. Her 3rd ace tonight. Blomers. Durande. Number 18 for Faith. And another ace. It dropped right in front of the back line. Set, yet we're letting them hang around here. There's a nice dump by Aubrey Blanco in the middle. Gordon back set, right side. Durande down the line. Faith says enough. Return by Norwalk. Durande up to Gordon. Gordon to Walker in the middle, tips it up and over and down. Malia Walker with her 5th kill of the night, and Oskaloosa survives set number 3. Here's the set to Walker. It's off the block and down on the right side for Malia. She has 6 kills tonight. Oskaloosa with the quick score here to start set 4. 95% efficiency. Returned by Norwalk. And Abby Thompson. Abby from the 10-foot line gets her first kill. 5-2 Oski. Great serve, Macy.
AC Macy strikes again.
Durande, 10-foot line. Another one for Faith Durande. Power from the 10-foot line there. Recovery by Norwalk. They do return. Oskaloosa now with a chance to get set. On the slide is Abby Thompson, right side, and that's another kill for Abby.
Yeah, they also could have played a lot of games there.
Ace serve. There we go, Faith. Another great serve by Faith. And blocked at the net by Abby Thompson. Norwalk returns a free ball. Dug by Gerard. Up to Blomers. Blomers to Roach. Off the blockers. Lucy Roach with her 5th kill. Picked up by Walker. Nice pass to Blomers. Quick set to Blanco. Blanco tipped it. And it's going to... 2 of the 3 sets were very tight. But they did get the sweep. That's going to be an ace for Lucy. Let's get it right back. Durande. Down. And now the Indians can send themselves to Cedar Rapids to face the Cedar Rapids Xavier Saints as they are serving for set and match point. But it's going to be a free ball return from the back row. Dug by Creer. Gordon sets it to Ronde. Down! That's it! Durande ends it with her 28th or 29th kill of the match. And it's the one that sends us to the regional final. 25-20 is your final score in set number 4.
When he's not nursing residents with special needs, James' passion is improving his family residence. Hillary? When she's not teaching undergrads, she's cooking up fun for Carson and Owen. The local home loan experts at Midwest One help them buy their home, pay down principal, make improvements, and build up equity. Their local mortgage service was so easy and affordable that James and Hillary even referred a friend. For local mortgage service, choose Simply Better Banking from Midwest One.
Shake the sugar tree till I feel your
He was swinging,
swinging.
yeah, just a swinging. I'd get it one piece at a time, and it wouldn't cost me a dime.
You mind your own business. Mind your own business. Everybody in town knows I'm crazy over you.
Thunder Country, your all-time favorites.
Welcome back to Indians Corner, presented by your Oskaloosa Hy-Vee on the Indians Network, presented by Craig Ford. I'm Jamie Brockman, and you know, the weather kind of feels like winter out there, so we're going to kind of move ahead and look forward a little bit to our upcoming winter sports season. And I'm pleased to introduce the new head boys basketball coach for our Oskaloosa boys basketball program, Brandon Lenhart. First of all, Coach, thanks for joining us, and welcome back to Oskaloosa.
No doubt. Yeah. Excited, man. Really excited to be here. Family's excited to be here. And yeah, excited to be a part of Oskaloosa School District and Oskaloosa athletics.
Well, tell us a little bit about you. For those that don't know you, I know, you know, you went to school at William Penn, so you've been around the community in the past.
Sure. Yeah. Born and raised in Iowa. You know, I'm from Tama, South Tama County High School, 96 grad. So given my age there, I'm a little older creature, kind of. Yeah, I played junior college basketball in Illinois for Jeff Moore and Quincy, Illinois, John Wood Community College, and then I jumped on, played at William Penn University from '99 to 2001. Got my physical education K through 12 teaching. Actually got into coaching and thinking wanted to be a coach from my junior college days. And then when I went to William Penn, I took a liking, and I think that Coach Henry took a liking to me when I was a junior. He was our assistant there at William Penn, and him and I really connected. And he's a huge part of why I'm doing what I'm doing and coaching, and was able to coach at the college level for 19 years, and he's a big reason for that to get into my coaching career and basketball education in general. He took a hiatus a little bit for a year or so, and after my senior year, I wanted to be a student teacher or be a student assistant at Penn, and jumped on right as soon as I got done playing. I was a student assistant there, and I had hopes of maybe being an assistant there someday or getting a grad assistant position somewhere. I just wanted to coach college basketball. It was my ultimate goal, but I also had plan B for being a teacher and a coach, and I was a cross country coach assistant, volunteer assistant with Coach Henry when we did pretty well and won some conference championships, and he was coach of the year, and then that's how I kind of got in, was being a student assistant for him in cross country and being a student assistant for Leon Richardson there at William Penn. So that's how I kind of started everything off, and I was fortunate enough to finish up my student teaching at William Penn, and right away, January 1st, I was named the head men's and women's cross country coach, assistant track coach, head JV coach, top assistant for Coach Henry on the basketball side of things. I had an opportunity to jump on an interview at McCook Community College and Division I Junior College in McCook, Nebraska, and I was offered the job, and and my wife and I were at working for actually Championship Productions. I was working, helping out there, also helping with, obviously still coaching at Penn, but I was in Vegas. My wife and I were in Vegas and got offered the job at McCook Community College, and we were very, very torn on leaving home, and Oskaloosa and William Penn. Everything was, really good. We flipped a coin. Heads, we go to McCook. Tails, we stay. And it came up heads, and that's the honest truth. Came up heads, and my wife said, "You better call them and accept the job before I say change my mind." So I just called them up, and that's the honest truth. We flipped a coin. It was heads, and went to McCook for 12 years and had a good run. I was a career specialist and head men's coach there. And my last 5 years, I was assistant athletic director there as well. So ultimately, I really wanted to try to just be a college basketball coach and not have any other duties. And that opportunity arose at Minot State University, and jumped on there and spent a year there. And then my wife and I, we had thought about it for the last 5 years, of looking at getting back home and looking at maybe getting the high school scene and kind of a change of scenery, change of pace that way. And had a few opportunities throughout the 5 years that we were thinking about it. But one of the reasons why we kind of stayed at McCook was we were looking to adopt and because we weren't able to have children. And then 2 months later, we found out we were having our first child, and then had another one 17 months later. And, we wanted our kids to kind of grow up around home and close to family. And after our time at Minot State, we just felt like it was time to get closer to home, and some opportunities arose here at Oskaloosa, the at-risk position. I interviewed for that, was fortunate enough to receive that position. And then basketball job came open and interviewed for that. And I was fortunate enough to receive that position. And that's, I'll just be honest, it's just a dream come true. It really is. Some people might think, well, he's crazy for, why is he leaving college for high school and whatnot. But we couldn't be more excited to be a part of this community, be a part of the athletic department and the school district, and be back closer to Penn and some of our friends, and be able to see Coach Henry a little bit more, and not just talk to him on the phone and things like that. And obviously Ryan Parker has been a friend of mine for quite a while, and he's a huge reason why.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you back. That's for sure. And looking forward to see, it's a new era, if you will, for Oskaloosa basketball, as I'm sure you're aware. Obviously, we've had lots of success here the last 3-4 years, been blessed with some very, very talented athletes and players. And now, no Xavier Foster, no Cole Henry, for example. So first of all, I'm sure you've met the team, been around the team, haven't really been able to coach them per se yet, but
Right.
How has the transition gone from Coach Parker to Coach Lenhart, and what are you finding that this team might have to offer this year?
I'll be honest. I'm excited, to kind of see what, what practice brings. I got here in the summer. I've been really, really just trying to just attack this at-risk position and get my feet underneath me there. That way, I have been concentrating on some basketball side of things and thinking about it from the time that I got the position, or before I got the position till now. But we had some workouts this summer. We started and did, at 2 days a week, and I actually lived in Newton with my sister and drove 2 days a week from Newton to Oski, and was a part of some open gyms. I did a lot of just we did some work. We work now and did a lot of skills and different things that way. But most of my time was spent just kind of analyzing things and trying to figure things out and figure some of the kids and what kind of skill sets they may offer, and try to figure out what we want to do as far as schemes and different things that way. But summer doesn't always tell that. We got a plan from the summer, from watching the summer and some of the open gyms this past fall. I feel like we'll put a plan together and we'll attack that plan and adjust the sales as needed. But I think the guys that work hard and that we got some guys that have some good skills And you know, losing Will hurts a little bit. You know, losing him, I don't know how long he'll be out, if he'll be out for the season, but that definitely hurts because, you know, guard play is essential at any level. And, you know, at this level and this class and you know, the conference and everything, we're going to need to have, you know, solid guard play and going to have to guard and rebound at a high level. So, you know, I like the team and like some of the guys that I've seen so far, and they seem to have a pretty good attitude and excited to have a guy like me come in and be their coach. And yeah, so I'm excited. So
yeah, everybody that I've talked to so far, player wise, is very excited and upbeat. They seem to like you and what they've seen from you so far, and they seem to be very optimistic about what they can accomplish this season. So looking back now, you know, to last year and what we have coming back this year, and we'll get more into detail into this here in a few weeks when the season actually gets rolling. But obviously, we're going to be lacking size this year. We haven't had that issue the last 3, 4, 5 years, and you know, that's something that we're going to have to obviously try to address. So, how do you go about, you know, not having 1, 2, or 3 big men and compete in the Little Hawkeye Conference?
You know, I've watched a little bit of film, you know, from the Little Hawkeye Conference. Actually, I'm scouting DCG as a mock scout to kind of show my staff this next week, to kind of show how we will kind of do things from a scouting perspective. You know, I've thought about that quite a bit, actually. You know, we'll probably look to press. I think that you know, with lack of size and those types of things, I think that we do have some speed. I think we'll definitely start out pressing. That can equalize a lot of different things. I think pressing can help equalize, you know, the size differential. You know, we'll look to front more in the post and maybe look to you know, dig if we get caught behind, or look to trap if we get caught behind. Just kind of depends. But that's kind of the plan of attack with some of those things.
Coach, when do things get going? When do you officially gather as a team and have your opening day of practice? And when can we see this team on the floor?
Yeah, we're having open gyms now. We're going Mondays and Thursdays, and looking to have like a meeting of you know, get to see where the interest level is, and everything, and let everybody know what's going to happen there. But practice begins on Monday the 16th, and yeah, so not too far away, just right around the corner, and we'll look to get some different. We're looking to get a couple workouts in for the first week each day. We're actually Tuesday through Friday. We're going to look to get up in the morning and get some offensive install Tuesday through Friday, and then practice in the afternoons. Well, all 4 of those days. But we're going to get at it. We're going to get at it on Monday. But that Tuesday through Friday, it's going to be you know, a couple times a day. Not going to kill them or anything. I just wanted to, you know, because a lot of what we're going to do is going to be different, totally different than what they've done. And so want to get ahead of the game a little bit, because we actually scrimmage. We'll go to South Tama and scrimmage that Tuesday next week after we start practice that Tuesday. Scrimmage South Tama and East Marshall before Thanksgiving rolls around. So have a few days to prepare for that first game versus Fairfield at home.
All right. I'm excited to see what you and the guys can accomplish, and we look forward to it coming up here soon, Coach.
Should be fun. Yeah, we're excited. We'll try to play as fast as we can without turning that ball over, and guard like crazy and rebound like crazy.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Coach Lenhart, thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to, you know, we're going to talk to you a lot here starting in a few more weeks. So thanks again, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Sounds good. Go Indians.
All right, that is Brandon Lenhart. He is the new boys basketball coach for the Oskaloosa Indians, and we thank him for taking time to join us this week on the Indians Corner, presented by your Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. We'll take a break, back with more right after this.